This is my swamp!
Society, Cringe, Onions, Shrek. Shrek is a movie that became a legendary meme. Shrek is not cringe, but he is...
Onions?
Maybe you think the meme is dead, but if these Shrek crocs are any indication of the vibrant life it still has, then you'd be overwhelmingly wrong. The Shrek meme's popularity climaxed in 2013 for reasons. The lifespan of memes is incredibly short, like Eddie Murphy's self-respect after Shrek. So to cover a meme that peaked 6 years ago would be crazy. But think about the fashion industry. How long until a popular look becomes old hat? And then returns on a cloud of golden light as vintage? 20 years? That sounds about right. For memes, things which are born and die with the lifespan of insects, 6 years is more than enough time for Shrek to make his glorious return. But why now, you may ask? Well, gentle viewer, let me tell you something. Today, we stand on the precipice of a dangerous paradigm shift which threatens the very fabric of what it means to be human. This is no
poop post.
This is reality, and reality is strange and profound and cringe. You may recall in my last video, I said this. Let this not be the epoch of cancel culture. Let it instead be the revival of cringe culture. I wasn't joking. Cringe is surely the best way to battle cancel culture. Hate is just so monotonous. So I got the cringiest guy I know to help me out. I'm Dank Shrek! Cringe culture. It's time to bring it back. To which you might say, why? And to that I say, do you feel heard? You may also ask what this has to do with Shrek. Perhaps nothing. Mayhaps everything. Does the voice in your head that speaks anxiously when you wake up in the morning have a point? Does your life feel more like a monotonous treadmill than a beautiful adventure? Then embrace the cringe.
When I was a young boy!
I said it once and I'll say it again. Shrek is not cringe, but he is.
Onions?
That is poetry that's meaning will unfold before your eyes. We live in bizarre times.
85%
of people don't like their jobs. Furbies are back. A school in Alabama removed the stalls on their bathroom doors to keep kids from vaping.
Their only private place in the school that they can do their business.
And mental illness is at an all-time high. If you don't believe me, just look at Gen Z's memes. These people got problems. So I ask you, can Shrek save us? Can Shrek save Zay? Has Shrek saved us before? This is not a question I take lightly. In fact, I take it very heavily. So rub some onion juice on your eyeballs, dunk your nards in the swamp, and watch with terror and glee as the most prized parts of you are rotted away by time. It will all be over soon. Clear your mind, make room for a message which spans 10,000 onions. Shrek has instilled within us a seed, his seed, so get ready to gargle his juices of truth. This is the story of Shrek, the story you never knew. Whoa, come on! Here we are in the swamp. It's a stinky place like your mom's yoga pants. A place where a green ogre bathes in mud besides his shanty. How poetic that we begin here. This is where the meme was born, sort of. Shrek actually began as a children's picture book published in 1990 by genius philosopher and cartoonist William Steig. He was hailed as the king of cartoons, creating them all his life. He's the only dead man I ever had a crush on, and he created Shrek at the hot, ripe age of 83. If you knew that, then chances are you're quite the Shrek connoisseur. I'll expect a tweet from you in your favorite Shrek merch, because let's be honest, I know you got some. Gosh, you're looking great today. Welcome to The Story You Never Knew. I'm Grant. This is the show where I tell you things and then you tell me that you already knew them. But before we get too intimate, let's get back to our boy.
It's Dolphin Shrek's time to shine!
Yes! Shrek's popularity achieved maximum splooge with the release of the movie in April of 2001. It was a smash hit with Smash Mouth providing the score. Shrek might be the greatest throwback to the early 2000s of all time because, let's be honest, the early 2000s were a dark time. The economy had just crashed. Shauna Paul was in every song ever, and September 11th happened too. It was terrible. But from the filth came an ogre who filled our orifices with stanky love. Unlike Sean Paul, he did play number 2. To understand the Shrek meme, let us first understand the character. Shrek, being an ogre, is ostracized from civilization. All humans he meets fear him, and so he contently lives alone in his quaint growth shack. Over the years, our large green protagonist has grown to value his solitude. However, his simple life is soon interrupted when fairy tale creatures from around the kingdom are threatened with genocide unless they conglomerate in Shrek's swamp. If you aren't a pleb, you'll know Shrek firmly believes this is his swamp. And so the collection of creatures from the imagination who now live there are intruding on his glorious land of mud and stank. Lord Farquaad is to blame, for he seeks his own idea of perfection, which, because he is evil, involves the oppression and extermination of creatures who were born from the imagination. The third fairy tale Reich! Little mustache man parallels aside, Lord Farquaad's plan is a disturbing metaphor for IRL society that makes clear how profoundly Shrek captures the cultural zeitgeist. You see, society is like an onion. It has layers, classes, but also makes you cry, like depression. Society! Instead of Lord Farquaad taking a baseball bat to your imagination's kneecaps, it's your terrible job and the school system that churns out copy-pasted adults who know mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell and also how much a bag of junk is, but are incapable of maintaining an honest and fulfilling relationship. It's why your mom and dad don't love each other anymore.
Well, it's no wonder you don't have any friends.
If your life feels empty and monotonous, you're not alone. Shrek is here to help. Since the Industrial Revolution, the imagination has been under assault by machines built by the intellect. In the 1800s, factories popped up and began spewing smoke into the sky. Also, people died from syphilis, and it was the Victorian era, so even table legs were too sexy. Repression of carnal urges. Society! We're still artisans and farmers, and any individual making a living in the countryside was beckoned by economic force to toil in factories for 12 hours a day. Toil in factories that would produce machines that changed the world. Cars, airplanes, your mom's little Frenchie hides under the bed that you show your buddies when she's not home because you're curious about trying it out yourself but don't want to go there just yet. Every modern marvel that makes modernity modern was born from the labors of millions who toiled according to unnatural schedules commanded by ringing bells. Clock in, clock out, clock in, clock out. As years turned to decades, 70-hour work weeks were replaced by the 9-to-5 we're used to today because the masses simply couldn't take it anymore. Shrek had not left us. Shrek was in Babe Ruth, Charlie Chaplin, Fred Astaire. And you know what? A minimum wage was established, creating a decently wealthy middle class, something that was never before seen in all of history. This was a victory because a 40-hour work week and a solid paycheck is enough to live a meaningful life. At least for most people. But from this shift that began with large-scale industry came a way of life that never truly went away. Meanwhile, humble Shrek watched from deep in the collective consciousness. The societal onion was not finished evolving its layers. It was now about the 1920s, and the handsome cartoon king was just a young lad of 20, still 50 years from manifesting Shrek. Since Henry Ford first conceived the assembly line, monotony has been the mantra of the times. Those who can easily adhere to fixed schedules became the worker bees promised a spot at the top of a corporate ladder. No longer were artisan crafters like cobblers, furniture makers, and small-scale farmers able to make a living by their talents. Machines and tedium could mass produce good enough and disposable objects to be bought for cheap and used until new one was inevitably required. Technological innovation was accelerated. New machines, new medicines, new vistas of entertainment spilled from the minds and hands of millions who toiled and rested by command of those ringing bells and factory horns. Few will deny that technological advances were worth it. Modern normalties were once impossible luxuries no more than 100 years ago. I certainly would never deny it was worth it. But what cannot be denied is that the last 200 years has been an assault on the spark of the imagination. Large-scale industry, materialism, family-friendly programming, despite being beautiful fruits of the intellect in some ways, seek to make your mind blank. Enter Shrek. He sees creatures of the imagination as intruding on his swamp, but that does not stop him from being an unlikely hero. He sets off on a quest to free these beings from oppression by Lord Farquaad. He and his ass companion come upon the castle that is clearly compensating for something.
Do you think maybe he's compensating for something?
An astute observation, Shrek. Forward, ho! A drone of this castle's lord wearing a comically large rendition of his ruler's head sees Shrek and is so programmed by monotony that he runs piously along the maze of velvet ropes rather than barrel through them to escape the perceived threat of ogrosity. Shrek encounters the innards of the kingdom to find cookie-cutter houses embedded in an atmosphere of bland muzak. A clear and brilliant metaphor for modern suburbia, the mecca of monotony. Here in Farquaad's calculated kingdom, a level of comfort and wealth has been achieved by the masses. But the fruits of the imagination lie shriveled and rotting, huddled for safety in a swamp ruled by an ogre. But this ogre is kind. Indeed, Shrek thwarts Farquaad's plan to cull fairy tale characters from the kingdom by kissing his hot ogre love interest. As though casting a spell from his luscious, heroic lips, Shrek seals the deal with the lady whose green cheeks he's gonna clap. This keeps Farquaad from marrying into royalty and therefore becoming the king he was never meant to be. The day is won! Creatures from tales of old are free from oppression! In fact, in Shrek 2, these characters our green god saved help him in his quest to make the princess's parents like him. But then, something terrible happened. Shrek the Third and Shrek Forever After hit the screens and they were just okay. Shrek, once the hero that brought back the fruits of the imagination, was used by Hollywood as some puppet whore to make money. I've thought about ending my life over less, but do not forget about the meme. The true message of the ogre lies at the heart of image macros and posts. Shrek lies at the heart of cringe. Shrek is not cringe, but he is
Onions?
Dolphin Shrek's onions too! Even more than Shrek. Dolphin Shrek is the epitome of the galactic dolphin tribe. Join the tribe!
On May 29th, 2012, the shilling of Shrek made the people furious enough to create Shrekchan, an image board dedicated to all things Shrek. It was, along with 4chan, the largest purveyor of Shrek memes and green text stories. The ogre continued to permeate people's consciousness until the pinnacle of his grandeur was achieved. On January 14th, 2013, a green text story appeared on 4chan that would change the internet forever. It was a harrowing tale of Shrek bringing a sensual awakening to a lad with an
abusive and homophobic
father. Then an animated rendition was created, garnering tens of millions of views despite incessant takedowns by the emotionally and
erotically
oppressive cultural elite. In this animation, a boy loved Shrek, worshipped him even. And as the kind god he is, our ogre zealous hero entered through the window and entered through other places and bestowed upon him the vulnerability of
penetration.
No such version of masculinity would have been allowed by the father. And yet, when the father re-enters the room to find his son filled with
Shrekdung,
humble Shrek turns to say, "It's all ogre now. He flies off as mysteriously as he came. While society for so long was run by machines built by the intellect and strict rules governing what proper sexy behavior was, Shrek thrust these stagnant cultural ideals aside and thrust himself inside. Society had replaced fairy dust with factory smoke, and the ogre fought back. Since that point in 2013, things have gotten slightly better. It's no coincidence that memes have entered the mainstream since Shrek reached memehood. In many ways, he is the foundation of memes, their grandfather. He wasn't the first meme, but the popularity of memes allows ideas and creativity to spread through the masses like a freedom-bringing wildfire. And the fire only really got started after Shrek filled a rebellious child with his love. Male-on-male penetration.
Pasta.
Shrek is love, Shrek is life. He's beautiful, but it's also cringe. It added a layer to the societal onion which threw off the shackles of emotional and carnal repression with its unapologetic expression of truth. That is the essence of cringe. Cringe is the precursor to unleashing the imagination. To post cringe is to express yourself, or others against their will, awkwardly but truthfully. One can only create genius if they are willing to risk creating cringe. Bringing the fruits of your imagination into reality is no easy task. That's why cringe culture must be brought back to protect those who could become the next Michelangelo or greatest freakout if only they did not fear ridicule. So I ask you, can we bring society back from the dark dungeon of monotony and into the light of self-expression?
Brew.
Can we create a society where unhindered self-expression allows the masses to live a career and life that is fulfilling? Of course we can! We can fight the fight Shrek has been fighting since 1990. Nay, since centuries before Shrek's essence was put to paper by William Stegg's deft and able hands. Oh, William, I wish you could fill my Shrek shack with your love. I want to look into your eyes while you craft one of your stories. I want you to turn my secret swamp into your personal swamp. You expressed your innermost thoughts and they were genius. But surely you posted cringe earlier in your life. So let this be a lesson to you, gentle viewer. I say, reach into yourself, pull from the voice that wishes you had the cojones to follow your dreams, and then come with me. Come with me to frolic with the intergalactic dolphins in hyperspace, who surely Steeg was channeling his entire career. Get on your hands and knees and present yourself to Dolphin Shrek, which will shield you from the taunting masses. You will speak your truth and relish in cringe until you cross the threshold into genius.
Genius! Dolphin Shrek is the making of genius!
This is how we add more layers to the ever-growing societal onion. Then we will ask ourselves, what's that smell? Perhaps, like most vegetation, our onion has begun to rot. Don't you see? It's onions all the way down! Our earth, too, is like an onion with its many layers. Like the mantle and the Amazon rainforest. We must protect our onions, lest they be trampled by fairy tale creatures thrown out of our mind onions as we creep towards complete monotony. Speak your truth and fear no cringe. To embody Shrek is to understand that everything ever accomplished by the intellect was born in the imagination. To embody Shrek is to live a life that ceases to make the dreams of hollow businessmen come true. Don't be a worker bee. Don't give in to the droning siren song of societal obedience. In the immortal words of Smash Mouth, hey now, go play. That's the story of Shrek. The story you never knew. That's my take on Shrek. Join the tribe. I hope it didn't all go over your head. And even if it did, I've got something that goes in your head. Raycon earbuds. Celebrities like Snoop Dogg and Dolphin Shrek are obsessed with Raycons, and I am too, but I'm gonna need another pair because they've already been in this guy's gross ears.
Ew, your mom is gross.
That's not what you said last night. Oh look, another pair. The sound quality of these bad boys is amazing, and they start at about half the price of any other premium wireless earbud on the market. The latest model is awesome, with about 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a sleek, compact design. I can't stress enough how convenient and easy these headphones are to use. You just pop them out of the charging case and discreetly into your ears. Press play on the phone and boom, you're good to go. Perfect for around the house, on the go, working out, whatever. Oh, and their noise isolating fit drowns out the dolphin screeches. So, go to buyraycon.com/Treesicle to get 15% off your order. Link is in the description. And thanks so much to Raycon for being a member of the tribe and for sponsoring this video. And thank you for watching. I'm Grant, and don't forget, 15% off your order. Buyraycon.com/Treesicle. Check it out. You'll be supporting them and the channel as well. Bye, everyone.